So we are a nonprofit organization, and we do have a chapter here in Edmonton, and we do all sorts of things out of our chapter. So first and foremost is that we provide victim services support for anyone who has been affected by an impaired driver. And then, of course, we do provide that education and awareness piece that you're probably more familiar with us about.
Of course, December is a month filled with Christmas parties. Does M.a.d.d see an increase of, December drunk driving offenses in Alberta?
You know, it's definitely a time where these instances are a bit more prevalent and that it's a little bit, I guess, easier to make that decision to drive impaired because there are, like you say, more parties and people are out and about. It's that festive feeling and you're a bit distracted maybe and then not taking those precautions as you normally would. A lot of people maybe are going out more often in December than they would any other time of the year.
Do you have any staggering facts about that really stand out for M.a.d.d in Alberta in regards to alcohol and drug-related crashes?
Yeah, you bet. We see it's quite high, our numbers in Alberta, but basically our Canadian statistic right now is that every single day 4 Canadians are killed and 174 others are injured. So that works out to about 1 person is killed every 6 hours. And that's a pretty startling statistic for us for sure. When you look at the numbers, we have more in Alberta last year. We had more impaired driving deaths than we had homicides.
The message has been pounded out numerous times in schools, on TV, radio. Why do people continue to drink and drive?
Unfortunately, yes. And, maybe it'll take that cultural shift where we as a community need to step up to say, no, we just don't accept that. There's lots of options out there, and we're very fortunate in Edmonton that we have transit systems, we have taxi cabs, we have a program called Pound Taxi. If you hit Pound Taxi on your cell phone, you're going to get the next available cab, regardless of company. So there's every option so that impaired driving doesn't need to exist.
Are there any events M.a.d.d Edmonton has planned out during the Christmas season?
We just began our Christmas holiday campaign. So if your eyes have been up to the billboards, you'll see in some of the more heavy traffic areas, you'll see our new holiday campaign billboards. We also have our ongoing victim services support. We have a candlelight vigil this weekend, actually, for anyone who has been affected by an impaired driver. And then we're just 24-hour on-call victim services support.
Layla, one thing I find very irritating on social media like Twitter is when people tweet out Checkstop locations here in Edmonton. That must be frustrating to both M.a.d.d and police agencies in Alberta.
Absolutely it is. I mean, these check stops and these law enforcement officers are working night and day to try to keep our roads safer. And sure, it's frustrating for those of us who are driving sober because it may add 5 or 10 minutes onto your trip. But in reality, if you're going to sit back and think, would you want to be on the other end of that? Maybe you get the call that, heaven forbid, your child isn't coming home, and how would you feel about that 5 or 10 minute check stop delay? Probably wouldn't be an issue. So I think we just need to step back and take the bigger look at the picture. And if you're in such a rush that 5 or 10 minutes to slow down to get through a check stop is going to completely ruin your plan, then you need to maybe leave a few minutes early, because these check stops are only there for our safety and to make sure that everybody can get home.
All right, Layla, the air is yours for a second here. What does M.a.d.d say to that someone who may have driven impaired once in their lifetime and possibly may do it again?
I just really encourage you to think before you get behind the wheel. Think not of yourself, but of everybody else. So think of the little kids whose parents you're going to take away. Think of everybody who's left to mourn that loss. I mean, that pain lasts forever. And is it really worth it? Is it worth not spending $20 on a cab to take somebody's life and to absolutely ruin a family for forever? And it's not. So just, take a second, think about it. The consequences are high, and you just don't need to do it.
All right. Layla Moulder, M.a.d.d Edmonton, appreciate your time and what your organization does in our community. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, and same with you. Happy holidays.